Hello and welcome to the start of another brand new series on this channel. Yes, I did have to cancel El Gabo, unfortunately, but you know what? I'm kind of used to it at this point. The reason I had to do that is because for one reason or another, the save broke. I've not been able to figure out what exactly happened to it, but it's just broken, and I've had to accept that and move on to onto a new project. But this one, I think this one's going to be good because this one is also set kind of close to where I am. So this city, we're going to be calling this Forward, is what we're going to be calling this project, and it is going to be based off of Madison, Wisconsin. Now, Madison is Wisconsin's state capital, and a few facts here. The real-life population of Madison is somewhere upwards of 200,000. The reason I picked this location is because the unique thing about Madison, not only that it's the capital of the state, but it's also located, or the downtown of Madison is mainly located on an isthmus, which is a narrow strip of land between two bodies of water. And that, I feel like, would be a really cool, thing to build a city on. And I've thought about it before, and I'm doing it here now. And yeah, that should be fun to do once we actually get to the... oh, I got a cough there. Once you get to the whole isthmus part of things, which is, not yet. We're not doing downtown yet. In this episode, we're just starting with, suburban stuff. And I think that's a better way to start than we started with, Algao with the downtown, because then it just feels like an empty downtown. And, we're not gonna wait to do downtown forever, but I did just want to definitely start off with something else. Because I just feel like that would be a better way to start, so we actually have a foundation of things going on here. The interchange back there is not what the actual interchange looks like, because there is an interchange where this part of town is, that kind of does lead into a little suburban commercial area. But the real one is just a cloverleaf. I didn't want to do that. That was too boring for me. So I built that thing, and you get to see it later in the cinematics, and actually kind of saw it earlier at the start. And I think I did an alright job on it. It's not perfect, obviously, but I think it did alright. So we're just laying out, the road networks for kind of the first suburb here. And, now I'm starting to put down some houses. I finally went in and detailed a bunch of houses for this series. Though it turns out that some of the fences were a little bit out of bounds in the asset editor, so I'm going to have to keep that in mind when doing the remainder of them, because I didn't do all of them right away. I just wanted to, I was really anxious to get this series started, so I made do with about 15 custom ones for now, and that's enough to get one suburb done. And if I really want to, I can come in and redo this at a later point. This is just kind of, we're starting this off, we're kicking things, we're getting things going here, and it's going to be a heck of a fun time. One thing that actually happened to me while trying to get this series started is I wasn't able to get Roads United to work for a long time, because for whatever reason, I don't know, it just wouldn't. And so Prez told me that instead of Core Plus I should use Core 2, but it might not work with some of the network extensions to Roads, and thus far it has. So I don't know, we'll see how that plays out, but I really just, I can't live without Roads United and the textures that Press made for it. They're just way too good. So we've got a bunch of houses here. Most of these are American Eclectic, and a few of them are also, I think they're called, I forget what they're called. I want to say they're Morgan Street houses or something. I don't know. And I'm not even completely done editing all the Eclectic houses. But, I just added trees, added fences, removed some of the vanilla bushes and stuff, and it makes for an alright product. This suburb isn't too big. At the end, I end up naming this Jefferson because, the real life town we're basing this off of is Madison. So I'm we'll do something kind of presidential related. And it just, no, I didn't name it Jefferson. I forgot. I named it Roosevelt. That's what I did. I think it fits. It might seem a little weird because you have all these houses that are right next to this big interchange, but that's just kind of how that ends up being. And in real life, the suburb is not this close to the interchange, and the interchange is also not this massive and wacky as I previously have said. But I had fun doing it, and I'm fine with the houses being this close because I do kind of fill it up with trees a little bit. And yeah, on the side opposite the main road, actually, where the highway comes off, there's a mall there in real life, and that's what I'm going to be doing in a future episode with this series. Is I'm going to be, constructing a mall there, and I feel like that'd be a fun time. And it's not like just a mall; like there's also some strip malls there, and that's going to be a nice commercial district to do. But that's not going to be like right away after this episode. That's going to be a while yet, but that should definitely be a fun time. I'm not sure what I want to do for the next episode, if I want to like go downtown or if I want to just like plan out some roads. I don't know. I got to figure that out yet, but I am really excited and anxious to get working on this. And again, I feel like this is definitely a city that I should more or less nail because I live pretty close to it. I visit this city several times a year. Like literally one of the highways here, the main kind of highway, not not the one that like turns into the main road here, but the main highway is the same highway that goes directly through my town. I'm not gonna say what it is. If you really want to look, one, why? Two, by all means go ahead. I don't care. One thing I'm going to do here, I think, in a second, is I'm going to place down a school, the Red Hawk Elementary. It's one of my favorite school assets, and I feel like it definitely works pretty good for, being where we are in a suburb here. And yeah, I also ended up putting like a few commercial things down, but you'll see that later. So I put this, I put all three of the buildings along this kind of main road here that goes from being like a wide avenue to just a narrow 4-lane road, because a lot more roads here are narrow and 4-lane than wide avenues. I don't know if it's like that everywhere in the US, but it's definitely true here. And I obviously couldn't fit the parking lot in right by it, so I decided to do it a little bit across the street, and I think it works. Just that works for me. And we do have a little side one there, but I didn't want to make like an oversized parking lot because it is still just an elementary school, and I had a little bit of time just getting that to work exactly how I wanted it, but it's fine. In the end, I think it looks like a pretty good little parking lot. I had some curbs, there's some curbs here to kind of cover up some of the spots where I didn't bother to put an extra little thing, and I don't really use the curbs enough, so I feel like this was a nice little opportunity for me to kind of dabble with them and just see what I can do. I ended up using the triangle curbs exclusively to make kind of like a separated square on the two sides, and then just a triangle that goes like inwards in the middle, and I think that works actually really nicely. And then I just put some flowers in them afterwards. And you know what? I admit it could be better, and I might go back and rework it eventually. But for a start, because I'm not an expert with the curbs, I have like never really used them that much. I think it's an okay start. And then I'm gonna take some trees, and I'm just gonna go through and detail like the innards of the blocks that I've already done. And I end up doing this again later with the other ones. And I go for a pattern on the planters, by the way, or not planters, but curbs of like red flowers and blue flowers kind of alternating, and then I just do some nice like regular trees, or and some Norway spruces, which I was gonna put on the assets, but I forgot to download on my other account because to do that I'm following the tutorial that Press gave the other week, where he said like, oh, make a separate Steam account and do things on there, and then you can just save the thing. I still don't quite understand why, but I definitely can see that it, works better. Again, I don't know how. It just does. I'm not even going to question it. But definitely adding these trees to the inside of the blocks made it so much better than it would have been before. Now, not all the neighborhoods are going to look super suburby, and I don't have all the proper houses to do like a kind of older to do like an older kind of low density area quite yet, but we're gonna cross that bridge when we get to it, and I'm not too overly concerned. If I need to look at what I need to do, it's so easy, because not only do I have like really good knowledge of the city itself from the get-go, but we also have the amazing tool that is Google Maps, and here I'm just like getting them some water and power that's like far off, because I eventually I'll probably build like dedicated areas for that, but right now I just want to have that service available for them because I don't care too much about it. So just don't worry about what I'm doing here. It's just getting things done because they were complaining, and I want things to function. And surprisingly enough, by the end of this episode, the city is actually voice crack. Hello, the city is actually functional, and believe it or not, turns a profit. Here I go doing one thing that annoyed me. I placed some power lines over the road. Like, I placed utility poles, but for whatever reason, the actual poles, when doing it on the road, disappear, and obviously that's a no thank you. So I end up having to go in and delete all of those in a minute, and it's like, now wait a second. Yeah, it's just like a moment. It's like, bruh. Oh god, I can't believe I said that. Yeah, here's when I realize that there's like no poles, and I have to be really careful because I don't want to delete the houses and I don't want to delete the roads, but I get it done, and it ends up being, all right. I really would like to find like a fix for that though, so I can get it to work, and I'm sure I can. I just didn't bother to put in the effort for that in this one. Now, I think shortly here I'm going to start doing the commercial area, and I decided to go with kind of for the first one I plopped down, it's like, I think it's called Spring Hill Suites. It's like a real kind of hotel, Marriott, I believe, and there actually is, I'm not sure if it's a Marriott hotel, but there is a hotel like kind of right in that spot, in the real city, and nearby there's like several more hotels because this, but I just decided to start with one, because I'm not going to waste all my the hotel assets in the very beginning. And there was one more that I was going to place, but that was also a Spring Hill Suites, just like a different looking one. I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm just going to go with the taller one because it definitely adds to the character of the area for now. And, this is going to be kind of like a recently developed area. And I don't know where I was going with that tangent, but I just feel like it works for that. I also do end up placing down a fire station and a police station, because those services are things they obviously need to have, and I also found a way to make them look like they almost fit in. I also put a little strip mall. I'm kind of running out of things to talk about if you couldn't tell. Yeah, I end up putting a strip mall back there, and that looks good. One thing I actually hadn't thought about before this episode, or before this series rather even, that I figure out is how to make drive-thrus kind of work, because here I placed a McDonald's, well, after I figured out this parking lot. This parking lot was a bitch to figure out, I will tell you that. It was just, I did not like that. Not like that one bit. But yeah, the McDonald's, I noticed that it had a built-in kind of drive-thru, but it didn't have the drive part. It didn't have, the road. So I figured the way I can fix this was by taking it's just a small kind of just paved road, just the pavement or whatever. The really small one that you get with network extensions, just the concrete. And using Fine Road Anarchy, have it half in the building and half out so it doesn't go out too far, so I can still save space, but it looks like there's kind of a drive-through going on. And I end up using that several other times in this episode for a Taco Bell, and I think it is a bank branch, the first Skyline bank branch, which is an asset I've actually never gotten to use before this, but I do like it. I end up kind of filling up this whole little stretch down here, this few little blocks with commercial, and it works pretty good. And then at the end, I figure I don't want to have it just transition right back to normal houses, because you have the strip mall and you have all this other stuff. So what I do is, I remember that I have these I've got, I think they're called Stonecrest Apartments. They're by King Leno, and I really like the look of them compared to the other one that's just like it, which is the Hamilton Street Apartments. So I decided to put a few of those together as kind of a little apartment development, and then put a parking lot behind it, and it looks pretty good. And the parking lot is actually pretty close to the railroad, and the railroad is kind of going to be, I think what I'm going to do with that is have it be a little bit of a divisor between this area and the area which is going to be a little bit of like older homes. I'm not sure yet. Like this is, I really didn't have a big plan going into this project. I just really want to do it. Like I do have some plans, and I like can't tell you all of them obviously, but that should be fun. I didn't really get much of an opportunity to put a big parking lot next to these little looks of that tiny strip mall along the main road though because of space constraints. But I feel like it still works, and I'm not gonna complain too much about that. See, yeah, there I go with the bake branch, and I try to connect it back there, but I realize it would look kind of awkward, and people would also be using it to cut across the street, and that's not something I want. So I just end up just kind of isolating it like originally I had, with the unfortunate side effect that it does create a stoplight in the middle of the road there, which I did not want to do, but I can actually get away with that, and I could have that be another entrance to like another frontage road or something that'll be like just across, like before you get to the mall. I'm not sure yet. I've got things. And speaking of plans, since Madison is the state capital, I could, or probably should really, actually place down like a kind of capital-looking building, but I don't know a lot of great ones, and I don't know if I really want to go out of my way to necessarily find one. I could, but I can also go without making this the capital, because in the real-life city, what happens is you don't have buildings on the isthmus that are above like the dome heights of the capital for obvious reasons. It's the capital, but when you're off the isthmus, you can do that as you wish, and not necessarily that I have to follow this or have to follow that, because this is obviously like a fictional city. But I feel like if there were a reason for me to not like do a capital kind of building, other than me being lazy and not being able to find an asset, it would be because the buildings I have definitely exceed the height limit that I'm going to place later when I do a downtown. Like I just know that because I've placed them down to test them before, and they definitely do exceed the limit. I don't remember like the limit in like height in feet, but generally you won't be seeing buildings above like above 7 or 8 floors in the downtown, but it is raised up on a hill. So when you're still on the isthmus but kind of away from the hill, you can get buildings recently that have been built that are like 14 stories, I believe, is one of the tallest ones I've seen. And that brings me to another point, actually, is with this series, I will be able to pretty freely use some of those nicer, like, some nicer condo buildings, like, which would be, like, mixed use or something in real life, because the real Madison has, in the past few years, and I've seen this firsthand, has had a really big boom in terms of the development of those kinds of projects, and honestly, they're beautiful. I might put up pictures on screen of a couple of them. I might not. I don't know. But yeah, if I can, I actually probably will, because you'll be able to see. And it's really actually redefined the way of the way that the city has been going. It is the fastest growing city in the state, and it is the most well planned as well. Like Milwaukee gets more development than Madison does because it's bigger, but in terms of overall growth percent, Madison is definitely bigger, as well as being much, much better planned. It really knows what it's doing. It's phenomenal. I would love to live in Madison. I have several friends there, actually. Enough of that tangent. So here I'm just detailing like a little kind of... I decided to add an office thing there because I didn't really know what else to put in terms of commercial. So then I had like a little fence here, and I end up editing that in a minute, but I feel like that's something that I can just... it fits in the space pretty well, and it works. It works. Like, it just... yeah, it just works. After that I'm gonna get back and place some more of the houses, and then go and detail those with the trees and stuff, and really that's about it for the episode, and that's pretty much all I have to say right now. So I'm gonna let the music take over, and then I'll see you guys back for the cinematics later. And if you like this episode, you're excited for the series, I'm back now. If you're excited for this, Also, if you're liking new graphics that I got, then, you know, leave a like, leave a comment, maybe subscribe. Let's try to get to 100. I've about like 82, I believe, right now, and I've never gotten to 100 in the, like, this is a tangent, but I've been doing YouTube as a whole, like, not on this channel, but just as a whole for, upwards of 7 years, and I've never gotten to 100 in any of the channels, and I want to finally do that, and I feel like I can definitely do that, but it's not about subscribers. Like, this is just a thing I'm genuinely passionate about doing. Like, the building of, you know, building it and stuff, and, I mean, eventually, sorry, got another tangent here, I'll get into that into another episode, but yeah, I'll let the music kick over, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.
Surrounded by darkness, far across the distant night sky, future, chaos, and oblivion.
I try to get by, something that I'm not into. My mind is paralyzed. Don't care, I just might pack my bags and take off tonight. Don't need the pressure from ya. No need to put that on me. Just need some fresh air to breathe. Feels like a movie, everybody's watching, all eyes on me. Easy to see if I'm winning or losing when all eyes on me. change in my pocket. My way ain't perfect, it's mine, so that seems worth it, right? Don't need that pressure from ya. No need to put that on me. Just need some fresh air to breathe.